What's up, you guys? Welcome to another video here on Film Vet, where we sort out the art of movies, and today we are reviewing Logan. It's awesome. Had to be done. So Logan, if you did not know, is the latest movie in the X-Men franchise and the last movie for Hugh Jackman portraying the role of Wolverine. Now, this movie had a lot of hype building up to it. The trailers were awesome. Johnny Cash music behind it, all that, super cool. So we were pretty excited going into this movie. And guys, what do we ultimately think?
I think it was fantastic. Kicking the heart, man.
It exceeded every expectation I had.
Absolutely. Logan was awesome.
It's so good.
By the way, this is a warning that this is a rated R film for intense sequences of gory violence, a lot of language, and a really unnecessary flash of nudity in the movie that just didn't need to be there, in our opinion. But we want to give you all of that information so that you can make a judgment as to whether to see this movie based off your own conscience. And of course, if you are not 17, don't go see this movie by yourself. That's illegal. So that's your warning. Let's get into the review. So acting wise, Hugh Jackman, his last portrayal of Wolverine. What'd you think, Thomas?
Just as good as ever. Mm-hmm. Probably better. It's definitely I think his best performance.
Yeah, I think it had a lot of weight. I think that we saw him portray a lot of Logan's oldness, all his being worn down.
His age, he really shows his age. Wolverine's age. Hugh Jackman is like 30. We all know that.
Actually, he's 53.
He's 30.
It's crazy.
He's 30.
You look good, Hugh. So this movie stars Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart portraying Wolverine, or Logan, and Charles Xavier a little bit further in the future. A lot's happened, obviously. It's got kind of a post-apocalyptic feel. But what's so cool about this story, I think, is that it was so confined. It was like a Western drama. It wasn't save the world. It wasn't anything like that. It was simple and it was confined. Keith, what did you think?
In terms of acting, I thought Hugh Jackman was fantastic, but even more so, I think Patrick Stewart did the best job he's done as Professor X, because I think this one, they actually gave weight to his character.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a school director or just a guy in a wheelchair that can control his mind, but he had pure emotional moments in this movie.
The movie didn't try to spoon feed you or catch you up if you hadn't seen X-Men, okay, we need to cater to the people who've never seen X-Men. No, this literally was
They just presented a story.
Right, it really was a tribute and a love letter to the fans of, you've been following this story, you've been following these characters, and we want you to see what it's like for them to be really at the end of their life. This is a story about what do you do when your time's almost up. Yeah. And I think it was really clever of them to actually play upon these two characters being superheroes, but also giving them like real problems. Logan with his age and, being worn down by all of his experiences and having killed so many people.
Emotionally and physically.
Yeah. And then Professor X with, no spoilers, but he's having mental problems. And that's such a clever idea to say, what if somebody that had the world's most powerful mind was having mental issues? What would that be like?
And I think that is the backstory that we have that makes this movie so grounded. Even though it's an X-Men universe, it wasn't filled with flashbacks. It wasn't filled with extra stuff that really didn't matter. They let you understand it through the dialogue and through the emotions. Yeah. And that's what really drove the storyline.
Yeah, and we got to give it up to the girl playing Laura, the young girl in this movie.
Yeah,
she was a powerhouse of acting. Didn't have very many lines, but you
didn't need any.
Yeah, it didn't need any.
Yeah.
You felt the chemistry between her and Logan and their relationship as they were on this journey together. Let's talk for a second about the intense, the R-rated nature of this.
Yes.
We all know that this movie would not have gotten made had it not been for the success of Deadpool. And whether you agree with, Deadpool being successful or not, I personally am not a fan of Deadpool, and, just the overindulgence of excessive violence and derogatoriness, but it did open the door for Hugh Jackman to be able to say, well, let's make one more Wolverine movie that actually is realistic. Because, you look back on the other X-Men movies, and it's like
child's play.
It's child's play. It doesn't.
It's a lot of.
It's hard to take it serious.
It's a lot of point and turn whenever Wolverine comes to do the action
exactly.
scenes.
Yep.
I think that's what I liked about Logan, and for people that are on the fence, if you're on the fence about like, well, I don't want to see this because it's just like a parade of violence and celebration of violence. It's really not. Logan himself is struggling with just the weight of having experienced so much violence and death.
Yeah.
And
he really doesn't want it.
Yeah,
he carries that weight the whole movie, and it starts to wear on him.
Yeah.
And it's none of the adverse content is glorified in any way.
Right.
And all of it, except for the brief
the nudity
scene,
thing, which is just weird.
All of it serves the story.
It really does.
Well.
It grounds. You said it grounded.
If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't have the weight that it did, and I probably wouldn't be raving about it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest strength of this movie that we maybe didn't see coming is how raw and how grounded it is. Because you keep waiting for it to do the Marvel thing or do just the typical superhero thing and lighten up the tone a little bit. And let's
punches with the editing.
Let's pull the punches a little bit, or even with the story. Okay, we're not going to go that far, but it does, and it ultimately makes you feel more for the characters in a way that I don't think any other superhero movie, except for maybe The Dark Knight, has done. It's for me personally.
You can definitely tell the story writers had freedom. They had the freedom to do what they needed to do, and I think what we got out of it was an incredible film. Not just a movie that you're going to go see with friends, but something you're going to walk out and it really affects you.
I think a lot of times when we think of superhero films as childish, throwaway films, but this showed that you can make a movie that's a genuinely great film, but just so happens to be about a superhero. What makes superhero movies interesting is that there's people like us, but they're dealing with something unique.
I will say, like, if you just can't watch gore, just
don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't let your kids watch it. Don't let it. It's
heavy.
It is a heavy grounded superhero movie.
Yeah.
That for a mature mind that can handle it is fantastic.
If you're used to the X-Men movie sort of violence, like that's not this. This. But at the same time, it's not excessive for the sake of being excessive. They're just trying to show what it would be like for a metal clawed person to fight. I mean, this is what it would be like. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
Is there anything we didn't like, Thomas?
If I had to pick one thing, it would probably be the pacing of the story.
Yeah.
I think they could have shaved 10 minutes off of it, maybe.
Yeah. The middle was
the middle, but a little closer to the beginning part of the middle. I think they could have trimmed that up a little more. But I mean, 10 minutes.
Sure.
I'd take off less than half a point for that.
The villain was fine. It served its purpose, but there was no main, like, real push moment where you say this villain is fantastic.
And that's difficult to decide if that's a bad thing because I think the movie wanted us. It's called Logan for a reason.
Spotlight was definitely on
Logan,
the heroes.
And his inner struggle. And so it's tough because at the same time, I do think the villain was kind of disposable, but was the villain even supposed to be that much of a threat?
This was definitely a movie about Logan.
It's Logan. It's not Wolverine 3. It's Logan. So let's go ahead and rate it. Thomas?
I'm probably going to go 9.5 right now.
I'll go 9.5 as well.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go 9.5. Yeah. This movie has a little bit of pacing problems in the middle, but overall, this is the perfect ending for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I told Thomas when we walked out of the theater, if I was Hugh Jackman, I would be so proud that this is how I went out. Hollywood, please, no, let's stop, okay? It was awesome. Don't ruin it. Let it be. Okay, guys, that is it for this review. Be sure to watch the other videos that we've got. Our Star Wars debate just got put up. We had a lot of fun with that, so please be sure to go watch that, along with our review of the new horror film, Get Out. We've got other stuff coming your way, but for now, we hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you later.